Hello, my name is Kyle Thiem with the National Weather Service here in Peachtree City. This is your weekly weather briefing for the week beginning Thursday, April 6th, 2017. This week we're going to give a quick overview of the update for the April 3rd through April 5th tornado outbreak that we had a couple weeks ago. We're also going to look at the latest drought information that came out earlier this morning. We're going to take a look at some of the current conditions and hazards around the area or lack thereof. And look at some of the slim but possible rain and thunderstorm chances this week, as well as looking at this week's forecast and a 7-day outlook. All right, for the tornado outbreak that occurred on April 3rd and April 5th, we're beginning to finally put everything together into a few event summaries, and you're going to be able to find those on our main website page near the top, near the news headline tabs. There are currently 2 tabs open, one for each April 3rd outbreak as well as the tornadoes that occurred on April 5th. We are in the processes of currently updating these to provide a full service web page with details on every tornado as far as the location and intensity for those. So look for those coming up here in the next few days. As far as an overview looking at the maps of where some of these tornadoes occurred, this is a summary of the April 3rd event. On this day, we had 26 total tornadoes that came across RCWA that we've evaluated. So because there are so many, it was why it took so long just to get everything together, especially when we only had about 2, at tops, 3 teams that were able to go out in any particular day. But damage assessments have found that we had 26 total tornadoes, 9 of which were EF0s, 15 of which were EF1s, and 2 of which were EF2s, causing significant damages to some residential and commercial structures, mostly in Wilkinson County. For April 5th, we had 7 total tornadoes, including 1 long-track supercell that produced 5 different tornadoes throughout our county warning area, including 2 of which were EF2s, or rated EF2s. The first of which going through Stewart and Webster County within our county warning area, and the other one going through Lawrence County. We had a couple others, one of which almost hit the office here. Our office, which is located just to the left of this tornado track that went through Coweta County, nearly hit the office. It was a very quick spin up. We were probably only able to see it because it happened so close to our radar. But it goes to show that in some of these QLCS events, or this one wasn't a QLCS event, but in some of these events, just how quickly some of these tornadoes can spin up and produce a little bit of damage. The other one of which was also occurred in North Newton County, which is just to the north of our big overlay map here. So those are kind of the event summaries, and again, we're trying to finally put everything together and get them out to the public and on the web. With details on the exact location and paths of these tornadoes. These, what I've shown here, are just kind of rough estimates of some of the tornado tracks and where they occurred. But details are coming very soon onto the web for a complete story of these 2 event dates. Taking a look at our weekly drought monitor, we see we haven't had much improvement up towards the north, but we did have quite a bit of improvement somewhat along the I-20 corridor. That's because, as you remember from the April 5th day, we had a warm front that kind of stalled over the I-20 corridor region. This produced shower after shower after shower after thunderstorm after shower after thunderstorm all along this region, and some areas producing 3 to 4 inches of rain. So for those areas that did receive quite a bit of rain, we did see an improvement in the drought, but because we haven't seen anything since then, not a whole lot of improvement has occurred throughout the rest of our county warning area. And unfortunately, the week ahead doesn't look to be any better. So getting into that a little bit, looking at right now, this is a map as of about 10 a.m., looking at some of the current hazards across the CONUS. And as we see, there's not a whole lot actually going on. There was a dense fog advisory in the northern plains, but other than that, it's been relatively quiet, minus a few flood warnings along the Mississippi and some other tributaries due to some of the heavier rainfall events that have occurred lately. But for the most part, everything is eerily quiet. Looking at today and tomorrow, we do have a slight thunderstorm chance. We are having some more stable air mass that's going to be moving into the area. which is going to help to limit and suppress some of these thunderstorms. But there is a chance, at least today, before a lot of upper level ridging builds in, that we could have some showers that, if they can get tap into enough unstable air, could form some thunderstorms. The Friday, there's a risk as well, but mostly for the northern tier of our county warning area. All right, looking into the forecast going into this weekend and in the early part of the next week ahead, like I mentioned, we do have an upper level ridging system that's going to be coming through the eastern half of the U.S. This is looking first on the left at Friday afternoon. We can see that high pressure coming in, and that's going to really build over the southeast area into Friday into Saturday, making it limiting some vertical development in some of our showers and storms, which is going to keep thunderstorm chances pretty low, at least for those, or any type of rain chances for that matter. Even though we do have high pressure aloft that's going to be limiting convection, we are going to have a lot of warm, moist air flowing up from the Gulf. So as some of that does begin to rise slightly, we could have quite a bit of cloud cover, some possible vertical development in the lower levels, but we don't expect that to really develop into anything significant. Looking later into this weekend, on Sunday, we end up getting into more of a zonal pattern. And what that usually typically means for this area is we tend to have a solid frontal boundary that kind of makes its way across the Tennessee, North Carolina area, usually just in the northern part of Georgia or just to the north of it, which is going to be the case because Monday afternoon we should have a stalled frontal system that looks like it's currently going to be draped just to the north of the Georgia-Tennessee line, bringing with it some possibility of some scattered rain chances and showers and an occasional thunderstorm. For now, we have pops limited to less than 50% for the northern part of our Georgia region, with chances tapering off the further south you go. We are watching the system to see how well it does develop and exactly where this frontal system stalls out. Depending on how far south it gets is going to really determine how much rain chances we're going to be able to get from this system. But nothing significant at this point, nothing severe either, but that is the next chance of rain that we do have for our forecast area. Looking at the 7-day outlook for Atlanta, you're going to see that every day this week we're looking at highs around 80 and lows around 60, and really this doesn't change for any part of our forecast area. It's a little bit warmer to the south, a little bit cooler to the north, but for the most part we're looking at highs around 80 and lows around 60. The only exception being within the northern Georgia mountain regions, in which case these values get lowered by about 5 degrees. So we're looking at highs around 75, lows around 55. But other than that, every day for the next 7 days looks to be this kind of pattern, with rain chances increasing into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as that frontal system begins to stall out just to our north, with chances increasing the further north you go. All right, and just wrapping up, the April 3rd and April 5th tornado outbreak damage assessments are finally nearing completion. Look for those assessments on our webpage. We did have a little bit of drought improvement around the I-20 corridor, which is good news, but unfortunately, without any rain after it for almost a week now, and possibly not until another week ahead, it doesn't look like conditions are going to improve very much in those regions. So next week we could have some drought worsening in across our entire CWA if we can't get some of these higher end rain chances to move our way. We do have a high pressure building in at upper levels through this weekend, which is going to limit storm chances and rain that's going to be moving into the area. But other than that, it really does seem like a beautiful next week for this area. Highs around 80, lows around 60 for pretty much the entire forecast area all week long, with only some scattered chances of rain and storms going into the early and mid part of next week's. With that, here's some of our contact info and links to our Facebook and Twitter pages. Thank you all for attending and have a good week.